I'm Isabella Smith and I'm a home economist and a health promotion advisor. I'm working on behalf of Eat Well Staffordshire and I'm going to be preparing some quick and easy to do recipes that are economical and tasty and very nutritious for you. I'm following the government guidelines. If you go on to eatwell.gov.uk you will see the Eat Well plate there. And basically, all of our food every day, we should have about a third of our plate should be fruit and vegetables, and we know that is a minimum of 5 portions of fruit and veg a day. Some starchy foods, about a third of our plate over the day should be starchy foods, so that's things like bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, couscous, quinoa, that sort of thing. A smaller portion of protein, we need to eat protein really in at least twice a day in the meals, and 2 to 3 times. If you can, and some dairy, a small amount of dairy food, about 2 to 3 portions of dairy food as well, and a little bit, only a little bit, this tiny portion here of foods that contain sugar and fat, so things like crisps, cakes, biscuits, pies, oils, margarines, all of those things come into that little bit there, but you can have some, so no one's cutting those out for you. Right, to start with, the lentil soup. So first of all, I just need a little bit of oil in the pan. Just put a small amount. And I'm using the vegetable oil. And vegetable oil is actually made from rapeseed oil. And rapeseed oil is one of the better oils to use. It comes to a high temperature when you're cooking. And also, if you use it in salad dressings, it's the best oil you can get. It's what we call a monounsaturated fat. So that actually helps to reduce the bad cholesterol in our diet and also provides us with some omega-3s as well. So it is a good one, and we produce the rapeseed in this country, so we're doing our farmers a good turn as well. So I'll just heat the oil. Now when you're preparing onions, if you slice off the top and then cut the onion in half, the chemical that makes you cry is all in the root part of the onion. So what we want to do is to leave the root on for as long as we possibly can. And then take off the peel. We've got the root I'm right-handed, so I've got the root to the left. And take the bridge grip, and this way, and then just go down with your knife. So I'm going down with the knife to the root, but not cutting into the root, and going like that all the way along. And the reason I'm saying use the bridge grip, I don't know if you can see there, is this is a safe way and a secure way of you cutting vegetables, so there's less chance of you cutting yourself. And then the claw grip to hold with your finger and your thumb the rest of the onion together and just slice along. And there you can see you've got the root at the end. So I'm not prying, and that's because I've protected myself. So just do the other half. And I just need to peel the carrot. And again, do things away from you. So as you can see, there's less chance, because even these vegetable peelers can be quite sharp. Take off the top. What we always say is if it's wobbly, it's wrong. So we want to make the vegetable flat as soon as possible. So there we've got a flat, take the bridge again, and then just slice down. And then put that little bit to carrot, and then just chop using the claw grip to hold the carrot. If you're having an energetic day and you're feeling in the mood, cook some soup, cook something that you can use a larger quantity and then break it down when it's finished cooking into smaller portions, 4, 5 portions. And that way, when you're not feeling like cooking or you've been busy, then you've got some soup that you can take out of your freezer or other food as well. Now, you can use a garlic crusher if you've got one. So I'm a great believer in having as little equipment as possible. If you do use the garlic crusher, just put the clove of garlic into the crusher, push it through, and it comes out and you've got the garlic there. But just put your knife on the clove of garlic and press it down. It's easy to take the skin off. And then just quickly chop it. And you can flatten it a bit if you really want it crushed. So I'm now going to put these into the fat. I'm just going to chop a little bit of celery, about 2 sticks. I'm only just doing half to show you. And the beauty of this soup, you can actually put any veg in that you want to. I've already prepared the rest of the carrots and the celery. I'm going to add that into that. I'm just giving it a stir. I'll turn the gas down a little bit. The other ingredient that I'm going to add to this red lentil soup is the red lentils. And the thing about lentils is that they are a pulse. They are full of protein and they're also full of iron as well. So you can have this meal as a soup and you don't need to add any other protein for it, and it is a full meal in itself. So it can be used as a starter or it can be used as a meal in its own right because it's got the protein there. The only thing with plant protein, such as lentils and beans, is you do need to get some vitamin C after in the same meal, so that after you've eaten your soup you could have an orange or a kiwi fruit or some strawberries or some pineapple or an apple, and that way you're complementing the meal. So you do need to eat vitamin C with plant protein to get the most of the iron, because iron from plants is difficult to absorb in the body. Now I'm just going to add some mixed herbs and store-cupboard ingredient. So the red lentils are a store-cupboard ingredient. Obviously the onion and the carrot are fresh, but if you wanted to you could use tinned vegetables and they still count to your portion of 5 a day. Frozen, dried and tinned will still count. So if you want to make a soup and you've just got some tinned veg in, still do exactly the same thing. And I've got some dried herbs, which are a good store-cupboard ingredient, because we tend to be eating too much salt and we only need to be eating about a maximum of a teaspoon. So the way to do that is to flavour your food with other things. So herbs, spices, lemon juice, lime juice are all things that help to flavour your food. So that, I'll leave that on for a minute or two longer. And then what I'm going to add is just some water. I'm going to add a little bit of stock, but only a little bit, because the stock can be quite salty. So I'll add that to the water. And then I'll be adding a bit of tomato puree and a tin of chopped tomatoes. Now, I don't know about you, but I absolutely love chopped tomatoes because they are always in the store cupboard for me, because I make sure I've got plenty in. They add anything to any dish that you want to do, any casserole. They just add a bit of depth of flavour. They're cheap and of course they're very nutritious. One of the things that can contain cooked tomatoes, especially things like tomato puree, when it's being pureed down and concentrated, contains something called lycopene. You don't really have to remember the name, just think tinned tomatoes, pureed tomatoes is going to help your skin look young and so help you get rid of those wrinkles. But seriously, it is a good nutrient, and it also, there is some thought that there's a little bit of protection from skin cancer with the lycopene. So tinned tomatoes, very, very good, and a little bit of tomato puree. All I want to do now is to just let that come to the boil, and then after it comes to the boil, just turn it down to low, put the lid on, well I'll put the lid on anyway, and then simmer. Don't forget the lentils. That's boiling away. I've poured some into a jug and I'm just going to process that. Got one of these little hand blenders. If you've got a food processor, great, but these hand blenders can be bought very inexpensively, quite cheaply. And I'll just